Hey guys, Fatso Gamer here. Today I'll be reviewing Burnout Paradise Remastered, and with that as well, I'll be going through the Big Surf update and all the DLC that comes included with the Burnout Paradise Remastered. So first things first, on the actual improvements from the base game, so the graphics have been improved quite a lot. So the cars look a lot cleaner, a lot crisper, a lot more realistic. But the biggest thing about the game that makes it much better is the frame rate. So the frame rate's up to 60 frames per second, which when I played the original game, you didn't notice it too much. But once you play Remastered, you actually realize how much the choppy frame rate, especially at high speeds, it affects your ability to control the car effectively. It's actually probably the best thing about the update is that extra frame rate. Yes, the graphics are a lot nicer, but the previous game was never about the graphics, it was always about the gameplay anyway, so it didn't really take away from it, you know, the graphics the way they were. As I did mention, now this game does have all the DLC of Burnout Paradise, so that includes the Cops and Robbers update, so that gives you all the cop cars, plus it gives you an online game where basically you can choose to be cops and robbers, sort of like Need for Speed, Most Wanted sort of thing. Next DLC you get is the Legendary Car Pack, which is a few cars from the Legendary one. The Burnout Bikes, which is a free update now anyway. Toy Car Pack, so the toy cars are like smaller version of cars. They're a bit floatier than the normal cars, so they sort of like move around a bit. But the advantage with them is like they're very hard to wreck. So even if you've sort of driven straight into a wall at speed, half the time you'll get a drive away. So they're an advantage and they're a bit of fun to play around with. Next DLC you get is the Burnout Paradise Party Pack. So this enables you to do co-op multiplayer, and it's also got like a party mode with it as well. A last DLC that you get is the boost special cars. So these are cars that have special boost parameters. Like one of them you can change between aggression, stunt and speed on the fly by pressing the L3 button. Pretty cool stuff there. So again, none of the cars are really anything greater than what was out previously, they're just different. So it just gives you a different gameplay, different experience, something new to try out. The biggest part of the DLC though is obviously the Big Surf Island. So this is a great little island. And I do mean little, like it's a lot smaller than the main island, but it's got a lot of jumps in there, a lot of like secret passages, a lot of gates, a lot of super jumps, but they've got these new jumps in there called mega jumps, which are bigger than the normal super jumps that you had before. In fact, if I had to sort of grade it, I dare say they'd be anywhere from sort of 5 to 10 times larger than the jumps we had in the main game. The other thing that's different with this one, so if you remember with the previous game, you start it up and it says how every race finishes on the point of a compass. So you've got either, you know, north, northeast, east, etc., and it's always point to point. But this one being an island, they've actually had to introduce checkpoints. So it does change the way you do races now, because previously it used to be, look, you're at the east side of the map, you've got to get all the way to the west side. Doesn't matter how you get there, you can go your own way. Your favorite way of going there, as long as you get there first, you win. This one, if you miss the checkpoints, you don't win. So it's not about getting to the destination, it's about getting the checkpoints. Now, when I first loaded this up, now bear in mind I had played the Big Surf update before, but that was, geez, it would have been 8 years ago at least when I was playing the base game. I forgot that it was checkpoints, and it did sort of make me think, oh man, you know, that's a bit annoying. It's just like every other game now, but it actually didn't take too much away from it because it's still got that same feel. It's still got that intense sort of arcade feel to it. It's just with checkpoints now. And the thing that I found is with the base game, I could do point to point and I'd get first time because I just choose where I want to go. This one, you sort of got to learn the course a bit more, because it'll be like, oh, okay, I've got to go down that track, or I've got to do that jump, or oh, if I take this shortcut, then I'll miss the checkpoint by a street. So I found that I had to do the races about 3 times before I could finish them, but it wasn't something that sort of annoyed me or anything like that, so it's not a bad thing. I guess the thing is with this, and the question that everyone's going to ask is, should you buy the remastered version if you've already got the original? Now I would say based on the graphics, no. On the DLC, maybe, possibly. Although if you spent all the money on the DLC from the marketplace, it probably still wouldn't cost you the same amount as the game. But the thing that I think is the best reason to get it, and the reason why I would buy the remastered version, even if I had the previous version with all the DLC already, is the frame rate. The frame rate really adds to it, and it's something that you couldn't appreciate unless you just played the other one and then you go and play this one. It is such a vast improvement to the handling, to the driving. It's not as much of a strain on your eyes. The only thing I wish they did improve was the sight in front of you. Still got quite a blur, like especially on a stunt race when you're trying to set up for a jump. You sort of can't see it till the last minute, which I thought was a bit disappointing, but hey, you know, they're just revamping an old game, so you can't expect too much. All in all, I'd have to say that I definitely, same as Burnout Paradise, I definitely recommend the remastered version. If you haven't got any Burnout Paradise games, definitely buy the remastered one. And if you've got the original game, I'd still probably buy the remastered version just because of that frame rate. I think it's something that's going to age a lot better as well, whereas the base game will, you know, 5-6 years time will start getting older. This game will still last another 10 years. Hey guys, thanks for watching Fatso Gamer. Please hit like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next video.